So I've seen this girl.
Oh my God, what's her name? What's her name?
Why'd you say yes to me?
I'm just gonna have to wait to find out.
All right, I got time.
You're cute, I like you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Listen, you want to know the truth? You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
You like movies?
Well, in this film, you play this tough-talking ladies' man who certainly loves his women, but loves his pornography a lot more. When you were writing this film, were you thinking, my parents got to see this too?
Well, my parents really liked the movie. You know, my mom is definitely a child of the feminist movement, and I think this is a movie that's sort of making fun of the way that our culture tends to reduce women to, you know, things more than people.
Yeah.
And so she really dug it.
I know that you worked on this project a long time. How did it first pop in your mind? I'm going to make this film, and this is what it's going to be about.
Well, it wasn't one eureka moment, you know. It's a slow evolution. I was just looking back at some of my earliest notes, and they're from 2008, when I was first thinking about, you know, telling a story about how people get treated like things and how the media can play into that, and the idea of a Don Juan type character who watches too much pornography and a princess type of character who watches too many romantic Hollywood movies, and you know, outlining the story and figuring out, well, how could I approach this? And it wasn't until quite a bit later, when I was shooting 50-50 with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg and that whole posse, that I thought, oh, this could be a comedy. That's the way to do it. And but not a comedy like a yuck, yuck, yuck comedy, but a comedy like 50-50 or 500 Days of Summer, that, you know, that people feel like people, and you're laughing because you recognize that situation.
Right. It's a comedy, it's romance, it deals with relationships, sex, kind of a little bit of everything. And it's a character unlike any that we've seen you play.
Yeah.
First of all, you look like you've shrunk back down to size, but you were
Yeah.
pretty beefed up in this
Yeah,
movie.
I was working out every day for a while and eating so much chicken, a lot of chicken.
Did you like it? Did you like putting on the weight?
No, bodybuilding's not for me.
That's your thing?
Not my thing. No, but it is very much Don John's thing. You know, he's got a really rigid expectations of what a man is supposed to be, you know, and having muscles is part of that.
Right.
So he goes to the gym every day and drinks his protein shakes, and, you know, keeps his hair all shiny, and
Yeah.
etc.
It's reminiscent, and I know that you're probably going to get this a lot, but it's reminiscent of Jersey Shore. But I read that you had never even seen Jersey Shore.
I had not.
when
no.
you wrote this.
No, I watched it since then because people kept bringing it up. I couldn't really watch it. I found it kind of aggravating, and that's no fault of the people who are in it. I think it's because, you know, shows like that are just as fictitious as movies.
Sure.
So anyway, I see it more as like, just, this is a classic American character. You know, whether it's Saturday Night Fever or Rocky or any number of other movies.
Right. When I look at the movie poster, I think of a young Robert De Niro.
Hey, thanks.
Do you see
I'll tell
that?
you, yeah, I watch. You know that the first Scorsese movie is this movie called Mean Streets, which is sort of a predecessor to Taxi Driver, and De Niro's really young in it, and that's a movie that I was watching. For sure. If you haven't seen that one, check that out.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
okay.
classic. Now, we've seen you on a lot of different things. We've seen you since you've been, you know, a young boy. There's been so many child actors that have failed to make that transition or have struggled and fallen into all the pitfalls of Hollywood. Why have you been so successful?
Well, thanks. That's a flattering question. I would point first to my parents. Really cool, smart parents who prioritize the things that I think are important, which are, you know, work hard, do your best, love what you do, and try to do something not just for yourself, but try to contribute in some way. And it's easy in show business to get caught up in prioritizing other things like fame and money and stuff like that. And those are seductive parts of the business. And I just never found those things terribly interesting.
Yeah. Here's your last 5 films: Lincoln, Looper, Premium Rush, The Dark Knight Rises, 50-50, and Inception. Does it feel as good as it sounds?
Yeah, man, it does. It does. I'm really proud of those movies. You're right. Well, thanks for saying that. I feel really fortunate, and you know, I've been doing this a long time. I started when I was 6, and I'm 32 now,
You're an old man. You're over the hill.
Yeah, man, no doubt. And it feels good. It does feel good. What can I say?
Yeah,
And
it's gotta be surreal to be acting with guys like Bruce Willis when you're doing Looper when you were watching him as a kid.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was, and I mean Bruce, and to be working with Gary Oldman on Dark Knight Rises, to be working with Daniel Day-Lewis on Lincoln, and to be working with Julianne Moore on Don John, who has been one of my favorite actors or actresses. She's been in so many movies I've loved, whether it's The Big Lebowski or Shortcuts or lesser-known movie Safe that I really like, Far From Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a good actor, and I was surprised and delighted when she read the script and wanted to do the movie.
Yeah, well, it's a really entertaining film, and it's got a little bit of everything. Something for everybody except for kids, of course.
Not for kids.
Not for kids.
No.
No. But are we going to see more writing and directing from you?
I hope so. I'm working on a TV show right now that actually I'm directing and writing parts of. It's a big collaborative thing that anybody can contribute to, called Hit Record on TV.
Wow.
And having a lot of fun doing that. We're making it right now. If there's any artists out there, writers, filmmakers, musicians, visual artists, if you want to come,
I'll give you
work
my
on our
number.
show.
Hold
Yeah.
on, I'll give you my number.
Come to our site.
I'll get you handled.
Phones are old-fashioned, man.
There you go. Tell me this: your first love, is your first love being in front of the camera still?
My first love being in front. Sure. I mean, I love acting. I hope I never stop. But the truth is actually that an acting performance in a movie is much more than just what the actor did. You know, what the editor is doing, what the camera is doing, what the music is doing. All of those things drastically affect a portrayal of a character. And so that's why getting to direct a movie and getting to play with all of those tools was really satisfying and fun.
Yeah, and there was a lot of rumors that you were going to be the next Batman, but now it just got announced that Ben Affleck is going to be the Cape Crusader. What are your thoughts on that, and still a possibility that you could be Robin?
I first of all, I have no idea about the movie. I haven't read it or know anything about it. I know as much as you do. And when I heard yesterday that Ben was going to do it, I was like, that's going to be great. Because Ben's a really great actor. He's a really great artist. And yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, and your best Don John voice, can you give Windy City Live a quick
What do you
shout?
want me to say? If John were here, he'd probably, I don't know, he'd probably tell you to go yourself or something.
Perfect. Joseph, thank you so much. I appreciate that.